Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing today? It's been a fun morning, hasn't it? It's been a very interesting couple days, especially in some elements of, I guess you could say, movie talk YouTube. There's been some controversy. There's been some stuff that happened. There's been some words that have been said, some words that have been demanded an apology for. And the rest of us are just sitting here asking ourselves just what in the absolute hell is going on. So yesterday was an interesting day for a multitude of reasons, and one most of you don't know about yet, but it ties in directly to the situation that includes me, and I'm going to talk about that towards the end of this. But yesterday, Jody's Corner posted a tweet saying, "It's over, it's done, I'm going, it's been great, yada, yada, yada." And everyone took the bait, myself included. I can at least acknowledge that. I took the bait. It seemed a little bit too good to be true, but in the moment, you're just kind of going like, my video was more of an instant reaction, like a ha ha ha, bye Felicia sort of thing, because he's a toxic troll. And that was only reaffirmed today. But what he reaffirmed today wasn't at all what I was expecting it to be last night. Because after I posted the video and I got to thinking about it a bit more, I started asking myself, what's the point? I started asking myself, what is the angle? What is the game? Because it's always an angle. It's always a game. And obviously Jody putting out a premiere video this morning at 11 a.m. was going to be something that was going to get a lot of people's attention. And you know what? Hey, it worked. I think he had over 1,000 people watching it. There was a bunch of other people that were restreaming it, that were adding their own commentary to make it a transformative work. And people were talking about Jody's Corner. But I don't think it had the impact that it was meant to have. I don't think it was meant to do anything else other than act as a bit of a coping stream to cope over what's gone on, how he's destroyed his name, his brand, tarnished his reputation. And he did nothing in the stream today, nothing in this video to remotely repair that. I mean, I thought it was just going to be him laughing for 45 minutes or something, and then just telling everyone to F off and check him out when he's live later on that day with Andy, because he is going to be live with Andy tonight. That's what I thought it was going to be, but it was actually much worse than that. And this is where you have to really kind of dive into the psychology of the situation to fully understand it. So in this scenario, what we have is a grown man in his 30s who said, "Gay Fisher." All right, you can play it down slow, and it says "Yay Fisher," and then he says "Gay Fisher." YouTube subtitles pick up "Gay Fisher." That's what it is. Andy went on this massive tirade yesterday, this massive, jumping from whoever would hear him talk, like the old man with the tinfoil hat on. "I'm telling you that the asteroids are coming, the aliens are coming." He wanted to make sure that everyone would believe that the sky is falling. He chicken littled the hell out of that yesterday. And to be fair, it makes the most amount of sense. Why? Because it's a business. He's protecting a business asset. He's protecting his business. That's what he's doing. He's running defense for Jody's mistakes because Andy is protecting a business decision. And you have to look at it from its most transactional approach. And that's fine. Everything on this platform happens to end up being that kind of business. But when we talk about what we saw today was not what should have been posted. I mean, like I said, what it should have been is just Jody going here's a premiere, the end of Jody's Corner. You can tell by the thumbnail it's a troll job. You can tell by the thumbnail that this is what's going on. And then it should have just been him laughing and then pimping the stream later on that night. There would have been no better way to run an epic troll than to do something like that, just to mess with everybody, just to absolutely mess with them. It would have pissed off so many people, and it would have been funny. I'm not going to lie. It would have actually been exceptionally funny if that was what would happen, So, but it wasn't. It wasn't. What we got was an hour-long live stream, an hour-long premiere, where he takes us through his experience with the DCEU, going back to 2017 and going back to the Me Too movement. And I have a feeling a lot of that had to do with Andy and his faults in 2017. because it made no sense. I mean, like, I dipped in and out of that stream multiple times because it was boring. There was nothing there that was being said that was interesting. There was nothing there that was being said that was enlightening. There was nothing there. It was a waste of time. Everything he did today was an absolute, utter, astute waste of time. And it's weird because at the same time, he almost like completely trashed his brand. Right? Like he almost completely trashed his brand in that moment. So when you think about it, when you watch what he says, he gives you this backstory. He gives you all of these things. He says all this stuff about what he doesn't like about BVS and he likes about BVS and he doesn't like about Man of Steel. And at no point does any of that even have anything remotely to do with why people are mad at him. So I have to just laugh when he then went off on this weird tangent about transgender people and how many of them send him photos of their genitalia in his DMs. Like, why would he said that before too, when he was coping with the first accusation? He tried making that joke like it's a joke that someone's going to care about, you know, like it's a defense mechanism. It's, oh man, I love tranny people. I watch trans porn, she-male porn all the time. I love it. Chicks with dicks, best of both worlds. To quote Randall from Clerks. It makes no sense logically. And all he did was kind of dig and dig and dig and dig for an hour. And I was just astonished at how bad it was. I was astonished at what we were watching, but it really did go to show me one key thing. And that is there's something unwell with Jody's Corner. Mentally, there's something unwell with Jody's Corner. And I understand that. And I think deep down, I get it, which is why I titled this The Final Word. I don't intend on talking about him past this, but I did want to get a friend's opinion. I want to get Enosh here. Hey, what's up, man?
Me?
Yeah, you. Yeah, you.
I'm a friend.
You are a friend. Yeah, you're good, dude.
I've had to defend you a lot.
I've had to defend you a lot. Yeah, but apparently I've had to defend you quite a bit. People are like not happy that I know you. I was getting some
switch.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's people like that Enosh guy, and I'm all like, really? Like, I mean, we're gonna go down this path of like who knows who and everything else.
Wow.
Yeah, sure. Like, okay. So in this regard, and I'm sending Max a link as well because he wanted to come on and give some opinions. And this is not going to go on for very long, and this is not going to be an hour. I only want to spend at max maybe like another 20 minutes on this, and that's it. I want to be done with it.
Yeah, I gotta go.
You got your Four Nerds podcast. I have to go and pick up supplies for a birthday party this weekend. So, it is what it is. But in this regard, I agree with Andrew here saying we've been played, because it was a play, but it wasn't the play that you might think it is. This to me today, as sad as it is to say, this was an absolute cry for help. Because I think that Jody is not well. And looking at his actions, his words, I mean, he's trying so hard to put on this like tough exterior of like, I'm a man, and you can't get me sort of thing. But then if you really pay attention to like body language and facial expressions and things like that, and he starts bringing up irreverent stuff that doesn't mean a damn thing to anyone. I know you were watching it, like we were watching the Gob stream.
Yeah.
And it was like everyone in the chat's like, what is he talking about? Why is this important? What is going on? And I thought it was building to a troll. I thought he was playing this absolute mundane game where he was just building to a troll for the effect of, I'm just now going to point and laugh at you.
Yeah.
And he didn't. And that to me was the most revealing aspect of this, because it was like, why would you do a premiere if you're not going to troll people? I mean, even, for a guy who loves to get his fans to bark like circus seals when they throw down money on Cash App, there was none of that. He got a couple super chats during it, but like if that was his main goal, to put out an hour-long video,
yeah,
where he's playing up that he loves to, he gets dongs sent to him on Twitter all the time, which I would argue is if you're sexting someone on Twitter DMs and it's unsolicited, I part of me thinks it's kind of illegal, to send genitalia to somebody who doesn't want it, but he's out there playing it up like I just get cocks in my face all the time. I don't get it. It's weird. I mean, this to me feels like a play that just backfired. It backfired because now no one's laughing with him. People are laughing at him even more. I think I now ultimately pity him in the situation he finds himself in, because I understand, Enosh, more than I think maybe a lot of people. I understand the implications of what false accusations can lead to, as well as what saying dumb things on the internet can lead to. And one of the elements in his video is this constant complaint. Yeah, Reese here says he got a super chat saying stop playing the victim. That's true, he did. That was pretty funny.
He did, yeah. I thought about doing it, but I'm blocked. I was actually in his stream first, saying hey, that didn't happen, and
I wasn't gonna give him a view.
That's not what I did.
Yeah,
and I wasn't responsible for that. And no,
because he's trying to put that on you. At this point, he's now trying to put all of this on your shoulders.
So I just left and went over to Gobs because I realized I was blocked and that wasn't really gonna.
Oh, I'm blocked on Andy's. I'm pretty sure blocked on there as well. I know I'm blocked from commenting on Jody's because I've made fun of him before. But I mean, the thing is like in that video, he doesn't take like I get the defense mechanism over the yay gay thing, and it's really a moot point at this issue. It really like it just is. It's a moot point. It's like, dude, you said it. And I had another friend of mine. This is the thing yesterday, as I realized this, I was looking around today a little bit. Andy was running to literally anyone who would talk to him. He was running to anyone who would talk to him. And he went to some friends of mine even. And like was talking to them, and he's playing this like, that clip where it's just like the 10 seconds and it's slowed down, but it's not the next one.
It's not the full clip.
It's not the full clip. And so it's like, you can see that there's this massive defense going on. And then I looked on Andy's Twitter today and I saw he's running this like massive long thread about like cancel culture and like how he's trying. Then he ties it into hugging the cactus again because he's trying to build that up. And it's possible that that was the play. That the play was, let's frame you, Jody, as the victim. And then why don't we then talk about cancel culture coming to you?
Yeah. Because
that was maybe what it was yesterday. It was, I'm being canceled by Ray Fisher. Let me tag Jeff Johns and Joss Whedon.
Well, in the chat, E=MCU is just said what I've been saying.
That we're in our own bubble?
That we're in our own bubble. And I've been saying this now for quite a while. Like these YouTubers who have this immense ego, okay? They think that they are more than they are. They think that they're more relevant than they are. I mean, we go to YouTube. You're on YouTube right now watching this. I'm on YouTube with Matt Jarbo. Yeah. I used to watch Matt Jarbo all the time.
I'm not that important.
But hold on. I used to watch Matt Jarbo, okay? Like I watched Andy Signore. You know what I mean? These are things that I've done. These are things that you've done. We've all done these things. We've watched these things. It's been something. But here's the thing. When you go outside of YouTube, nobody knows. Nobody cares. My grandmother called me today and she's like giving me a hard time about something. And I'm like, Grandma, I need you to back off for a second because I'm dealing with some stuff that I can't even explain to you because you're not even going to understand. You know what I mean? Like I have to get into this whole thing. Well, this person said this, and then this person said this, and I made a commentary video about it. And then somebody took it out of context, and then somebody else took it, a celebrity took it and posted it to their Twitter and cut out one little part that was just a little part out of it. And now I'm being blamed for having done this whole massive campaign against somebody. And this person is coming at me and telling me they want to stick body parts down my esophagus and forcibly do sexual things to me. So like, how do you explain that to somebody who's not in that bubble?
Well, I have a lot of experience on that particular front. I remember I went to therapy and like I had to explain to my therapist what I do and like why my mentality was as messed up as it was at the time, and then having to explain everything. And then she's sitting there going like, I didn't know any of this existed. And that is, there's that. So I agree, Max, I see you. I'm pulling you in just a hot second, dude. I agree that there's a lot of the bubble that goes on here, but I think also what we need to realize is that it's the bubble goes both ways. And us as abject critics of Jody and Andy, we look at their actions and the character that they play, because that was a big part too of what Jody was saying, was the character that he is on screen is not the character that he is off screen, and that's messing with him. And I think that's the crux here, is that the two worlds are now colliding, because now he's not just a villain, because he's playing up the role too. He's embracing the role. So is Andy. They're both playing this villain to the DCEU Snyder Cut fan base for some reason. Like, just let it go, move on, pimp away. And all of this goes away, but they're so hell-bent on making it a reality. And so, yeah, I just wanted, I get it. I get what E equals MC square is saying. I completely get it. And everything else.
I'm not saying it's not important. I'm not saying it's not something that needs to be paid attention to, because obviously it's a reflection of what's going on. And I agree with you. I think there's something more going on with Jody. I think there's something more there. And I think when we look at it, it's like we have to look at it for the reflection that it is of real life, and say, okay, how do we go about this? But the thing is people are going to respond however they're going to respond. I mean, I just got a notification now, this channel is trash. So you got to weigh that, like, do I care about what these people say, as opposed to the other hundreds of people who are like, hey, you called something out that needed to be called out, and you did what needed to be done.
Well, Campbell here says, why not just play a better person on screen? And I'll tell you this, dude, that's That is where I started on YouTube. If you've ever gone and like looked up the whole Mundane Matt saga, it doesn't reward it, but like you can see transitions and everything. So, the thing is, in this situation, I now legitimately feel bad for Jody's Corner, because I'll tell you, I feel like he deserved to be called out for it. But what I feel bad is the dogpiling. And that's why, and I know this might seem like that.
He's not remorseful at all. He just says, this is what I wasn't actually going to talk about Jody and Andy that much, except the mentality of anti-SJW and
anti-cancel culture.
Cancel culture people that are so against it. They are the most fragile people on the earth. Ray Fisher has nothing to apologize for. There's no lawsuit that's there for him saying he's disappointed and they should be better. I don't know his exact, I'd have to bring up his exact words. They should be ashamed. They should be ashamed. That's not cancel culture. See, this is the mentality. We get to be how we are, freedom of speech. And whenever says our freedom of speech sucks and we should be better, that's canceling you.
Sure.
That's telling you need to be better and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Conservative Central here, invite Jody in and talk to him yourself. He won't come talk to me.
No.
He won't talk to any of us. He won't. No. That's the thing, is like, he would not come on.
I said, Andy, you should be the better man and stop encouraging him. Because
Andy won't, and I want to talk about that too. Because
I said that on my stream last night. I said,
and I know
because
So this is like, the thing is, like, when I talk about, like, yes, things you say will be used against you. I've said dumb things that get used against me all the time. That is the thing is understanding and acknowledging that you've made those mistakes, not repeating them consistently to show no growth of character.
People that are at me right now, Matt, because of my friendship with you and someone else, and they are attacking me because I'm friends with you and I collab with you.
Yeah, but haven't they been doing that though for like almost a year now? It feels like
no, they're doing it hardcore again.
Then that's fine.
But what I say is, you can't come. You don't have anything on me, and the stuff with Matt is from years ago. He has apologized for, and he said he would never do it again. Mm-hmm. What more can you ask of Matt?
That's the thing is
will you ever do that video again until the day you die?
Hey, that's Andy, let me ask you a question, because you're here. Why don't you come on? Why don't you? Oh, you want me to text you the link to come on in? Because I know you have my number. I know you have my number.
We have.
I'm fully aware of what you've done with that too. So I fully am aware, and I know it was you. Why don't you come on? Why don't you come on and talk? Huh? You keep talking about all this stuff, right? All these things. You want to call me a troll. You want to say all this shit, dude. Why don't you come in and talk?
Here's me being nice to Andy. Here's me being nice to you, Andy, if you're still listening. You know how you say Ray Fisher watches you? Maybe he just didn't want his tweets shared on a live stream. He didn't want to give some people just don't want that. That might be why he deleted it. Big deal. If I was a celebrity, I wouldn't want someone using that on a live stream. I don't think he's obsessed with you, but I talking to you directly, Andy, that you're in the chat. You're in your bubble. The majority of people think you are wrong, you're a train wreck, and you're a joke. And encouraging, I keep thinking of Jody's Corner,
Well,
to go down this path.
The lie is that I said that I was doing it for views, and that
we don't know who sent that to Ray Fisher. We don't.
I didn't send it. I didn't send it to Ray Fisher. I didn't have anything to do with that. I made a video that was up on YouTube for over a week, and then one day I woke up and Zeverfet sent me a message on YouTube saying congratulations for the shout out from Ray Fisher, and I said, "What are you talking about?"
Well, I think it's dangerous I think you should question.
Well, here's the thing, Andy. I've seen your little clip that you've been touting around, and there's another couple seconds of that clip that you like to forget out. The next time he says it, he doesn't say yay, he says gay. Even YouTube subtitles pick up on that, and the algorithm is so astute on this platform, it can determine what my facial expression is.
Well, he said in his apology video today, even if I said it, so what? Because he said his no. I mean, was this not his apology or not apology?
This wasn't an apology video. This was an hour-long coping.
Yeah, no. But he said this is my humor, and I think that's offensive to Black communities too, to say that this is just the humor of I recognize this humor too. When I was in high school in the 90s, people used to say gay as a negative for everything. That's gay. That's,
that still happens now on the internet.
Yeah, but that's not acceptable in society. That's why
not acceptable.
That's why it's so prevalent online. Should you be canceled for it? No. Yeah. Should you be called out for it? Hell yes.
I think there's nothing wrong with making the claim. I find it to be the funniest thing here that the victim narrative is still what gets pushed around. No one was trying to cancel Jody. Everyone was giving him a hard time over it, but no one was saying cancel, close your YouTube and go away. No one was doing that. Like everyone is like, at this point, his video today was a cry for help, man, like flat out. And like you, Andy, are a massive problem in that man's life. You are a massive problem in everyone's life. Why is it that I keep getting messages about you from people? Like, why is it that I keep getting sent the same type of language and screenshots about you from people who know you in real life, unconnected to this?
Listen, I think
so. Andy you're the problem.
No, I think Andy needs help himself. He has such a chip on his shoulder for what happened. He's still not letting it go. So he wants to fight the fight for everyone.
Oh, I know he wants to fight the fight. I know. I got the phone call last night.
But people need to be heard too. Maybe you don't like the way Ray went about it. He went to court of public opinion first. That doesn't mean he's wrong. That doesn't mean you should call him a diva and say you're hiding something. You should, until there's some. He's not a Smollett until you prove it.
See, look at this here. Look at this here, Andy. Not canceling him. Nice goal shift. Who said to cancel him? No one said cancel him. Everyone is talking. Everyone in this side of it.
It would hurt my content. I want him to stay where he's at.
Well, but Max, moving away from that, though, you guys, again, it's like fuck that shit. Like no one cares about the content aspect of this, right? Because again, it's YouTube. It is what it is. But when we talk about the whole concept of criticizing someone for saying something stupid, that is not uncommon with this platform, especially Andy. In regards to you. When you bring up John Campea, you go through the same rigmarole, the same song and dance, the same script. Well, if he says it, I can comment on it. If he says it, I can comment on it.
You honestly want to know what the biggest problem between us and Andy and Jody is? The biggest disconnect is, if we talk to each other man to man on a stream together, like Change Your Mind, it wouldn't go to this extremes. But ignoring people and then talking only in the chat, this is where it gets ridiculous. I'm being honest.
I have been more.
If they stopped ignoring you at the beginning, and we just all talked together in the same room.
Well, that's a criticism, Andy.
No, I honestly.
You need therapy. Is my opinion of your actions and your negative impact on the side of YouTube at this point.
You're so skewed to one side now, Andy.
Okay, guys. Okay, so hold on. So you guys are just arguing and yelling and screaming, and I'm just
it is. That's right. That's right. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
And here's the thing. Okay, Andy, you destroy all chances for dialogue. You banned me. You blocked me from everything so that I couldn't even say a word. You came on, you made up this big thing about how I admitted to you supposedly that I was in it for clicks and views, and that I made up this whole thing for that, when that was not even in the DM that you shared. The DM that you shared, you didn't realize that I was making fun of you actually in the DM, because the Tuesday night that you guys put your video, or whatever night it was that you guys put your video together that I made my video off of, you guys were talking about how Oh, look, he's watching. He's here. That's good for us because we know that people are watching. That's all I was saying, was that I guess you're watching because according to your logic, that's what it's all about. Somehow you turn this into something else about me, and then you block me so that we can't even have a dialogue because you guys don't want to have a dialogue. And at this point, I don't know. I don't know what you want. Like, like what you want me to take the video down? Why? Because I literally made a video about something else, a commentary video that people make commentary videos all the time. And there was one part that I thought that I heard that him say something. I commented on it. I didn't harp on it. I don't go on for 20 minutes saying this is what he said. I said, that's interesting. Why is that acceptable? If that's what he said, why is it acceptable? Now, that's up for anyone else to hear and decide what they thought it could be.
Oh, here's Lewis as Mad Max
Hold
the
on.
Mandalorian.
So hold on. So that's up for debate. And if you want to debate that, and if you guys wanted to say, hey, Enosh, like why do you think that he said this? Because that's what I hear, and that's not just what I hear. That's what a lot of other people hear. So I get it that people want to defend it and say, well, that's not what we hear. That's fine. So there's two sides of that coin.
Yeah, so
and you go back and
not
forth,
everyone
and
agrees with you.
and not everyone agrees. But the thing is like to come out with this idea of like and make up this narrative. You had nothing to make this up on. You had nothing to go on. You had no insider knowledge about it because none of what you said happened. You guys made up this whole thing that I went to Ray Fisher. I clipped this thing out and I went to Ray Fisher to get this thing. Like I'm in cahoots with Ray Fisher to try to take down Jody. I never once called for Jody to be canceled. I never once called for anybody to stop liking Jody. And at the end of the day, and this is all I got to say, and I got to go. Okay. At the end of the day, if Jody had played this right and he could have come on and just like me and said, hey guys, you all know me. Right? I don't say things like that. I understand that somebody may have thought that I said something like that. If this had happened to me, this is what I would have done. I would have come up and said, hey, guys, you know what? I understand that it may have sounded like I said something, but I didn't say that. And you know what? That's up for you guys to decide. But I'm going to move on because I know that the people who support my channel are still going to support me. And those who don't like me, they're still not going to like me. And I would have gone on. And then you know what? Jody would have been okay. But you guys come out with both barrels, banning everybody, not allowing anybody to talk, making up these narratives, making up these lies, saying all this stuff because you're full of drama. And guess what? You totally degraded the whole story. You made the whole thing blow up in your face. And here, even now, at the end of the day, if today doesn't happen and we don't have this weird psychotic thing of coming on and talking about how Jody wants to stick body parts down my esophagus.
Yeah, that's
okay.
I don't like that.
So and making sexual people don't talk things like towards me and other people. Who talks like that? But here's the thing. At the end of the day, if you played this right, guess what? All of Jody's fans, they still love Jody. Okay, they're still going to comment on my stuff about how it's yay and not gay, and they're going to comment about whatever because that's what they believe. And the people who didn't like Jody or the people who agreed with me, they're still going to come on me. They're still going to support me. At the end of the day, Jody didn't lose anything. There's no loss at all. Nobody canceled him. Nobody called for him to be taken down. None of us said for any of that stuff to happen. None of us wanted that. Watch my stream from last night. The minute that Jody drops that tweet about how he's going off, watch all of our genuine reactions to how we felt about it, because we do not want to see Jody go away. All we want to see from the very beginning, what I told you at the very beginning, we just want you to do better. Don't act like this.
And asking someone to be better is not cancel like culture.
It's called a comment. It's called a commentary.
It's called accountability greater than entertainment. How long have you been doing it? You've been doing this longer than me. I'm just getting my start. I'm coming up to my first 10,000 subscribers. Okay. I'm some peanuts, nobody, nothing. And you guys are worried about me. How long you been doing this, Andy? How many celebrities do you know compared to me? How many elbows have you rubbed compared to me? How many Comic Cons have you been compared to me? And you're worried about me? Dude, you are obsessed, you and Jody, and you're scared about something that I don't even know what you're scared about, because I'm nothing, but yet you come after me because you thought it was low-hanging fruit. But guess what? Cyborg came in and said, I'll take it from here. And that's where I go with it. And so I invite you all to join me on Four Nerds tonight. I'm getting ready to go be on there at 7:30, and I have an announcement that I'm going to be making tonight. And so,
wow.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of soul searching and thinking about this whole thing. And so,
Are you leaving YouTube as well? Is that what's happening?
Well, I would say that you need to come and
I can tune in when I'm out running my errands. Yeah.
Yep.
Look, I completely get what you're saying, and I agree. I do want to add on to that though. It's like, you can sit there and be Andy, like you and I got beef 100%. I think you're a piece of shit, just to be honest with you. I think you're a scummy person. I think you're so angry for the last couple of years that you haven't let it go. And that's creeping into like every one of your relationships, which is why people have been thanking me for criticizing you, because they're sending me stuff. And I say that not to be a dick and lord it over your head.
What does he say about this clout chaser? Isn't he a clout
he's
chaser?
Just, yeah, exactly. The whole element of it's being a clout chaser. Yeah, everything we do on this platform. Yeah. Max, stop. So here's the thing, Andy. You want to sit there and you want to call Enosh a clout chaser. You want to call me a clout chaser, Max, whatever, dude. That's fine. That's criticism. We can take it. The thing is, though, when you make videos where you talk about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, that's clout chasing. When you go on Twitter complaining about being demonetized and you're like, how does this help Johnny Depp? That's clout chasing. When you start off your video, I didn't even watch it. I just saw like it popped up in my phone as I was scrolling around last night, and I ended up seeing like it auto played with the subtitles on. And in the first 5 seconds of your video, you're complaining about demonetization and how YouTube is suppressing this. And you're, as always, and this is what you do 100% of the time, you play the victim. Always. That is your MO. It doesn't matter what it is. Andy, I didn't do nothing, ignore. Like, stop it. Stop it.
I gotta go.
I know you gotta go. I'm trying to talk. I'm trying to download that image. Yeah, I'm trying to download that image for you, but it won't let me download.
Unblock me. You know what? I'm a good guy. And you know what? I understand. You guys get all these attack videos or whatever. Yeah. Now people making videos about me, but guess what? I'm pretty confident in myself and I'm not worried about it, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what else somebody says about me, because the people who are going to agree with me are going to come to my channel now. So I don't know.
Plus this man fucks. Just saying. I just want to put that out there to pimp you up a little bit.
Which I'm looking forward to getting back to once I stop having to make all these videos.
once on other people's videos. Get off of these like 8-hour streams.
Right. My wife's like, I guess I'm not going to see you tonight either, Arvin. I'm like, well,
what is he saying?
Just look at the announcement tomorrow.
There we go. He's going to be on the Four Nerds podcast, which is launching up here in just a few minutes. So why don't you guys go check that one out? What's the channel it's on?
It's on Zeverfet.
It's on Zeverfet's channel. Okay, Zeverfet's a good dude. Go check that one out. He's going to be on there. They're going to be probably talking about more of this stuff.
I'm to be in the chat supporting everyone.
All right.
We'll see you guys then. All right. Thanks a lot for coming on in, man.
Bye.
So I didn't want to, I got to wrap this up. I got to go run some errands myself. My final words on this subject are simply this. I want both Andy and Jody to do better. I do. I want them to.
And that's not canceling them.
And that's not canceling them. No, not at all. I'm not for cancel culture. I never have been. I've gone through it. There's things where, in regards to Andy, I've been open about this. I'm very sympathetic. People come to me all the time and they go, but he's a sexual predator.
Saying cowards. I don't get it.
Who's saying we're cowards?
It's in the Andy in the chat. I don't get it. I'm
coward. Enosh is afraid. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, listen here.
I would go. I said, as long as I'm wearing my mask, because I know they're going to throw that in there, I will go on any stream they want, talk to you anytime.
Cowards, cowards. Okay.
I would like advance notice instead of like 3 a.m, but I'm not I'll talk to anybody.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I know Andy is lying when he's all like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know how your phone number got in the hands of an alt-right podcast I was on a few weeks ago.
Oh, God.
I don't know how that got out there. People who don't like you. I don't know how they got your number the day that all this crap goes down. A couple days after Andy and I were texting about this particular person. I don't know how that got out there. Yeah, that's kind of weird, isn't it? It's kind of funny. A number that I don't give to anybody outside of a few people, to keep that shit safeguarded close to my chest, now ended up in the hands of a person who also illegally wiretapped me. So thank you for aiding and abetting a federal crime. I appreciate that. That's a lot of fun. Anyway, this whole situation is ridiculous and it's over now, to the best of what I can say. Don't be rude. This is my channel. What the fuck? I can be rude if I want. Anyway, cause I'm trying to get a fucking word in. Anyway, I'm kind of worked up right now. I gotta wrap this thing up. Anyway, well, cause I'm trying to I'm getting also for some reason, I'm
so chill about this whole thing.
Yeah. I need to get stoned.
I do too. And I've never been it before.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where it's like, look, what you have, when you look at why people are mad at Jody and why they're mad at Andy, and I know Andy's still watching because of course he's here. He's always slinking in the corner somewhere. Him and his little cronies. But people are mad at you because you attacked a fan base while trying to seek clout. You made up
Right,
stuff
if
about a
you're-
fan base trying to seek clout. Hold on.
If you're against cancel culture, what's the t-shirts? Cancel the
Yeah,
and rape Snyder cut. That's
Yeah.
that's
all
exactly
that
the
stuff.
same thing.
All that crap went down, right? We know that this is how bad it is with these guys. They've backed themselves into this corner and they've lost. So they double down. And it's like, look, open an invite for Andy to come on the stream 100%. Would have texted to him, would have DM'd him on Twitter, whatever. He won't do it. He won't come on with me, even one-on-one. I'd boot you to the curb, man. Him and I could go at it one-on-one, and that'd be a lot.
What you do.
That'd be a lot of fun.
I'd like to see it.
It'd be very interesting. Because this is where the difference is like Andy, if you watch his content, is now 100% I'm always the victim, rather than let's actually talk about what's going on. But when he puts his mind to it and he focuses on content that's about positivity, the stuff doesn't get as many views, but it's better content and it can grow and it can change. And that is what it is. I love this here. Future Henderson. Jody's a clout chaser. Dude, trust me, he's a clout chaser. Everyone that gets to know Andy hates him. That's actually pretty accurate. So, trust me, I've gotten so many freaking messages from people. God, Discord. I'm in this chat that keeps blowing up and is blocking everything. I don't want to cancel anyone. I know Carl here is saying that Andy is done. He's not done. He's not done by a mile. He'll milk this and they'll play this up for as long as they possibly can to people out there who are going to believe that this is the reality of where we find ourselves. But the truth is, Max, you know it as well as I do. They lost. And yet they're holding on to this fight that like everyone else wants to move on from.
They're listening to their bubble of people that pay them, that they're on.
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that because
I think they actually believe what they're saying.
Well,
unfortunately,
I don't know. I think Jody, maybe Andy. I don't know. Andy, it's a business decision. He's more calculated than you might think. That's why he's always up there playing the victim. You can tell with Andy, and this is just a psychological thing he does, that when he's trying to play the victim, he raises the tempo of his voice, so he raises the pitch. Right, he starts talking higher and louder. It's in order to make himself appear to be more victim-like, to have a more effeminate voice. It's actually been studies have proven this time and time again. When it comes to actually trying to make people believe what you say, it's like, oh guys, you do something along those lines, and he does that. And he does that when he's trying to bilk the audience, and it's very easy to see. And I don't know if he's aware he does it, but he might be. However, the people who are pro Snyder Cut, the people that are very happy that this is happening, these are the people that are going to support HBO Max and they're going to watch it, and they outnumber Jody and Andy 100-1. There's no reason. Okay, here's the thing. Just to go back to your point, Max. If they were listening to their fan base on this one, then why didn't more people buy the t-shirts? Andy on your stream admitted only 2. Right? We know Jody bought a couple for his crew. He bought maybe 4, maybe 5. I don't know. But he only bought a couple. And so no one bought them, and the link is down, and you can't buy it right now. It's been down ever since that stream where he said he was giving money to AFSP.
I'm not letting the thing go about the receipts for June. If it's
sure.
if that's what it's about, I waited. You brought it to our attention to give you props, but yes, I was waiting till June was over. I want to see June 2020 receipt for donation, $100. Because that's why the shirts exist, right? Not for your personal motivation to stop a movement.
Yeah. So, more or less, oh my God, I'm getting some people on Twitter that are just like, meh. Yeah, I just would prefer at this point if they would, honestly, if they want to talk about the Snyder Cut and whatever, do it from an intellectually honest perspective.
Well, I don't think they're letting this Ray Fisher thing go. I don't.
Well, of course not. Of course not.
And I think that's a mistake. I said, even if you don't like me, please take my advice. It's a mistake. You're risking everything with your connections if you still have it with Patty Jenkins.
Like Jody and Andy are reasonable as hell. Really? Do you not listen to what they say when they attack? Okay, so I don't want to say attack. Fine, let's not use the wording attack. Let's say they criticized Ray Fisher.
They called him a diva for wanting representation of a black hairdresser in the entertainment industry. And the article, it was because Vanity Fair started an article, what should we do in the future? What should we do now that there's representation in front of the screen? What about the support staff? And they called him a diva for wanting that. And then they alluded to him that this is the stuff up against Joss Whedon. He didn't say that. This wasn't the reveal. This was just a story he was contributing to an article by, I think, Vanity Fair. So that's what they made it like a joke. Like, oh, Joss was so mean they were mocking him. Oh, Joss was so mean to him. He's such a harasser. He wouldn't give my hairdresser credit. And then Diva, and then the constant jokes of saying, oh, this is gay. That shows what's going on in your head. So yes, I am going to make a judgment call. And even if he did, I tend to believe, like most, that maybe he said gay in the beginning, but he said gay at in there. And he has a big thing about saying, which he admitted in his video today, that gay means whack. And just like other words you shouldn't really be saying, that's the same thing for the gay community. They don't like that. Do you think they're okay with that? Or alluding that that you just aren't cool with African American or black culture, that it's acceptable? I don't think so either.
I don't really know what you're talking about right now, to be honest with you. I get why that they criticized Ray. I get that. I mean, and then Ray, kind of criticized them back, and then they played the victim, like, oh, Ray is attacking us, a man with no talent, no clout.
When the stream where they said he was a diva, and they were talking about his barbershop, they were saying that was the way Joss was mean to Ray Fisher. That's what they were alluding to in the stream.
Oh, okay. Well, look, I've heard stories about Joss Whedon myself, so I don't think he's that good of a guy, to be honest with you. Right. And I don't care.
That's what they were presenting to their audience.
Okay, fine. So they were presenting it to their audience.
This is all it is about Joss. He's such a diva. That's
I get it. Fine. I get it. Fine. Okay. So then after that, it built up from there, and then they were continuing to go about that a little bit, and then Jody made his joke, and then Ray caught in on it and ended up kind of, BTFOing Jody. And then it brought a lot more people down on Jody, probably than he expected, to be honest with you, And as a result of that, Mad Max the Mandalorian asks, Max, what am I talking about? That's pretty funny. But I agree with Zeke Man here. Let's move on.
I really think it's Lewis.
I don't know. If Lewis, if that's you, text me. Okay. I don't know where you are. I'm tempted to go to LA to put up missing posters. Bald Cubano man in his 40s. Have you seen me? Anyway, no, look, this whole situation is lame. It's lame, and it's consumed far too much of our times. Mine too. And I've added to that, and I'll fully admit this.
Yeah.
All right. But my approach to it is like, I'm a stubborn individual, and I don't like misinformation. And I listened to what he said, and I believe that he said gay. Is this a Laurel Yanny thing? I don't know. We'd have to get an actual speech professional to come on in here, to do it. You can slow it down, and you can hear yay and you hear gay, and it is maybe what your mind tells you. But the reaction to what happened, the constant being the victim, the lashing out and going after Enosh when Enosh only gave his opinion, and in these guys' minds, he's nothing, because he doesn't have the same clout they do, but they couldn't go after Ray, so they went after Enosh, shows you a pattern of attack. It shows you an MO in these situations. And that is the problem that so many people are pushing back on. And that is what's going to get lost, because it ends up being it always just kind of moves to the next phase. Nothing is getting addressed. And I'm burnt the hell out, Max. I am just burnt the fuck out.
I know a lot of people are for this topic, but
I would have no problem going in on it with Andy.
I honestly, in my channel, I have no problem talking about still, but I kind of said I am gonna cover the train wreck for the audience, and it is relevant.
Yes, but you have to.
They're in the talks now because they keep going after Ray Fisher.
Well, they also I
also want to move on to other stuff too.
Well, then you also have to do it though, like that. I mean, that's. So I get your whole point of it. If they go away, then it stops giving you content. But that's also a bullshit argument. That is a bullshit argument, because you can't sit there and go, I want them to move on, but then also,
I give people hot takes too, It depends on the way they go. It's just unfortunate.
No, it is. And right now, movie talk is in this weird place and everything is bumping into more shit. The thing is, though, how you gauge the reaction rather than there's no apology. It was not even really an explanation. It was trying to be a dismissal and dismissing people's concerns about what they believe that they heard. All right. So in that moment, it's just a simple, yeah, he says it briefly in the stream. If I said it, it wasn't my intent. Why not just lead with that? Mm-hmm. Just lead with that and let it go. The longer and more you push back on this, the more you raise this stink, the more you beat your chest over it. What does it do? All it does is it just makes more and more and more people look at you and look at it and then question it. And that is a problem. And that is exactly why in these scenarios, the best course of action is to just shut the fuck up.
They're their own worst enemies right now. Ray Fisher stopped talking about it after the tweet. And they keep bringing it up.
Because they're able to use it for that clout. That's the whole point, right? It's like when Campia made a comment about Andy, and Campia like wrote about it in the thing. Andy instead of just he said his thing, moving on. He made a video about it, and then they brought up the Wonder Woman video from Campia back in 2013 or whatever. Like it was an older video about Campia criticizing Gal Gadot, right? And that at the time when Zach cast Gal Gadot, there was a lot of pushback on that. Like I did a video supporting it. I got a lot of pushback back in 2013 when she was cast in the film. So, I mean, they're going back into the back catalog. They're bringing up all this old shit. That's irrelevant because they're looking for shit to chase upon someone who is a bigger fish than they are. And that's everything in this is all it is. So they've been in my mind 100. Okay, hold on. It's like Future Hendrix here says Ray called Jody a homophobe. Is he just supposed to ignore it?
I called him that.
All you got to do is just come out and go, no, that's not me, and that's it. But the way it works is the more
behavior. He didn't call. He said this behavior, and you should be embarrassed.
Yeah, it's all you have. Yeah, that's it. That's his opinion. There's no litigation that Jody can do. There's been no ongoing harassment that Jody can do. Garrick here says this could all have been avoided if Jody and Andy admitted they were wrong with the Snyder Cut, which again is accurate. It's just like, it's not even admitted they were wrong. It's not even that. All right. It's just let it go. But when they tried, but if you notice, they pivot and they pivot and they pivot to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, because that is how they stay relevant in these conversations. So that's it. I have got to go. I've got to go get dinner for my family. Right. And then I've got to go to work to support my family. And I can't sit here all day long complaining about celebrities who might hate me and hoping to get cash up. I have work to do. I have a fucking job.
All right.
And so it's one of those things where, listen, I don't hate Andy as much as I criticize him. And I would love to I would love to go toe to toe, to be honest with you. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I don't hate Jody. At this point, I want both of them to be better. And to I think honestly, the best course of action would be to take a break, because that would give them the opportunity to reflect and give people the opportunity to move on themselves.
Listen, the worst thing that that corner needs is a bigger microscope, because people are you tracking everything he does? Like, no, you just watch one thing and there's plenty of.
Yeah, I mean, I have my own screw ups, and that's the thing. People on Twitter have been blasting that to everybody and whatnot, and they're just like, "Oh, look at this, look at this,
that
look at this."
That corner does not need a microscope. That's
and it's just saying. So you're trying to cancel me because I'm being critical of someone else who says something stupid. It's just whatever the hell it is, man. This is YouTube 2020. What can I say? I'm not going to run. I'm not going to hide. But also, if I make a mistake like that, I'm going to acknowledge it. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging it. And the thing is, I saw someone say,
"That's the difference: acknowledging." Trying to be better instead of doubling down, and trying to cancel Ray Fisher. Chances they're attacking his credibility, which can hurt him and his future of Hollywood. Ray Fisher said, "I don't care if I don't ever get another job," and they are attacking his credibility, hurting his chances. So you could argue
they're not I mean, again, you can't this is that bubble thing. I agree with that comment on earlier. Look, dude. We're fucking no one in the grand scheme of things. All right. We need to get that through our skull. I've got 30,000 people on this channel. You got what, 5,000, 4,000. I'm not knocking it. Enosh has got nearly 10,000. Andy's got 100 and something thousand. Jody's got 55,000. We don't fucking matter. Okay. Right. Outside of this world, we don't fucking matter. And people need to stop acting like we do. That's the biggest problem. is that when, like, you know, this is the problem with Andy. He goes out there, I'm anti-cancel culture, but then he goes on these tirades, and it's like, well, in his mind, he thinks that there's reach there, that people want to see this. So his whole goal is to find more people. It's the same argument the Fandom Menace uses, that I just want more people to watch me. Isn't that the whole point? Isn't that the whole point? So then in their mind, they act in this way that's meant to be this grandiose behavior. They give themselves delusions of grandeur that they actually have a fucking impact on this world. And I'm going to tell you point blank, they don't. They don't. But what they have an impact on is this ecosystem. Mm-hmm. This ecosystem is what they have an impact on. And that's where the problem lies. You may think you are a hot shit on YouTube, but that's where you fucking are hot shit. Otherwise, normies don't know who you are. And I've said this to Snyder Cut fans too. Like, you go out to the Comic-Con, you go, oh, what do you think of the Snyder Cut? And people, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. All right. Like, people don't know outside of these bubbles. So yes, in these bubbles, they exist. And that's where we're currently arguing this stuff. But the people who try to push outside of that to have influence elsewhere is where the problems lie. That's what I'm talking about. So I would like to see everyone just kind of maybe rein it the fuck in a little bit, recalibrate why the fuck they're here, myself included, because I'm worked the fuck up. And then to go from there and figure out the next point of fucking action. So when I said this is my final word on Jody's Corner, I hope to fucking God it's my final word, because I don't want.
I'm not gonna.
It's not gonna. No, it's fine. You and I handle things totally different. That's cool. But the thing is, man, like, I'm just not gonna go on your streams if you're talking about that.
Right.
And that's just for me personally. Like, I don't. I'm not discrediting you. I like you, but I'm just not gonna do that. But like, if you want to do a movie talk stream, that's different. That's at least something that's productive. This, let's just fucking watch what other people say shit. It does get old after a while. But I think in this context with Jody and with Ray Fisher and Andy, there is a larger conversation to be had. And that's where I'm at with it. But anyway, I've got to fucking go. I love this here. You guys live in a world without facts and context. Man, my whole life is facts and context. You have no idea. All right. So I'm out. I'm going to go get some dinner because I'm fucking hungry. So I'm hangry.
I got to get ready for rent for later.
Yeah.
Happens.
Go do your thing, man. Go do your thing. Everyone else, thank you.
You're not the only one that says it's not going to be on my stream if I keep talking about it. So
no, it's not that I'm not. It's like these topics, right? It's these topics. If it's an interesting topic, then I have no problem jumping on it. If you're like, hey, let's talk about the animated Splinter Cell movie, TV show coming to Netflix right now, like, that's something. Who the fuck is calling me? God damn it.
I don't care.
All right. Anyway, I'm getting calls, so I got to go. All right. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. Fucking Jesus Christ, Discord. There we go. Like, it's just taking over my headset. All right, everyone. Have a good one. Go sub to Max. Go check him out. And I guess if you're a religious person, pray for Jody, because right now he fucking needs it.